Good morning.
If you haven't seen the first video, please go and watch that if you would like to know how the first step went for this process. This is the second video and it's sort of like a follow-on, more practice. Definitely did a lot of practice of this same stencil. You'll see across all of the videos that I will be uploading, there are multiple tattoo practices of the same stencil, but that is okay. That is part of practicing.
All right, we're trying again. And the whole point of these is that you do them multiple times so that you can practice and practice and practice and practice. And I won't show you constantly different ones of the same thing. I just wanted to show you that it does turn out differently. So this is thicker skin. This is 3mm skin rather than, excuse my terribly dirty nails, 3mm skin rather than the 1mm stuff I was using earlier. I have a 7 round liner this time instead of a 3 round liner, which will suit it better, although we probably will still use a 3 to do the dot work. Yeah, everything else I'm using is the same. We've got the Fold Pro, the Masked Fold Pro 2. I have pink gloves this time. But yeah, coconut oil to clean this off, never use it on your skin, paper towel, Vaseline, the usual. So let's get into it.
I just also want to preface this all again by saying that you do not tattoo synthetic skin the same way that you tattoo real skin. It is a different process. Synthetic skin is a lot like bouncier, it's a lot thicker, it's a lot harder to tattoo on. So the process that you use is never going to be the same. The point of it is to practice technique, depth, speed of your hand versus how that relates to the voltage of the needle, all that kind of stuff. Also to practice applying stencils, to practice following stencils. There's a lot of different things that it does help with, but it's really good to keep in mind that is never going to be the same as tattooing on real skin.
This is where it's at the moment. My stencil was pretty sketchy. Blame the stencil, but yeah, it wasn't great. You can see that my circles are a lot better than the last time. I probably should have warmed up my wrist a little bit by doing some like extra exercises, but this is where it's at, so let's keep going. This is what it's looking like. I think the shading and overall shape of it is a lot better this time. You can probably see that the fill, this skin, and you can even see it on this old one that I did, the black it just doesn't want to take the black. Maybe that's a me thing, maybe it's the skin, but it really doesn't like taking it. I even had to go over the shading a couple of times as well. But I think, yeah, the shading came out quite well. I did all of this with the 7 round liner. That's the other one for comparison. So, yeah. Old one at the top, new one at the bottom. You can see they're a little bit different, mostly because my stencil rubbed off and I did it by sight. Pretty cool seeing the comparison. They're pretty consistent, but I can see improvement in the new one. So we'll keep practicing that because I learn things every time that I do it, and I will keep you updated on what I learn. I told myself that I would practice that dumbbell one more time before I go on to the next exercise. So this is the next exercise. Obviously the skin's really dirty because it's the same one that I've been using for this, but because stencils take a while to set, I did this stencil at the same time. So this doggo is going to be the next one that we do now.
Something I find super interesting in documenting the process of me practicing is that I can even just see the way that my hand motions change compared to the last video, and even just compared to the dumbbell. You can see that I am even just doing my line art differently after practicing multiple times. You know, the direction in which I do some of the lines, or the way that I move my wrist instead of, you know, my fingers. Things like that may not be something that you particularly notice a lot, but it's something that I notice. Likewise, if there's something that I'm doing that I believe is incorrect or doesn't look right, by watching these videos back, it kind of allows me to be able to spot those differences and improve and change that for the next time as well. So I find that really, really interesting. This particular stencil, I did majority of it in one day, and then it sat on my desk for probably 3 months before I found the motivation to just finish off minimal shading. Like, it was such a small amount of shading that I needed to finish, but for whatever reason couldn't make myself do it. So I mean, everybody has those slumps, so I thought I'd just share that with you so that you know that you're not alone. It would be good to practice every single day. That would be, you know, the dream. But reality is it just doesn't happen that way. So don't be too hard on yourself if you're not practicing every day. Even if you're like sketching in your sketchbook, you know, every second day or once a week, however often you could do it, it's all going to help. Yeah, I can't say that I do it every single day. I would love to, but unfortunately, I just don't.
Progress. It's getting there. This skin really doesn't like taking black, but it's looking good.
Are you talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
What do you mean, what'd she say?
Is it on for the moment?
Yeah.
That's alright. Look again, this way again.
Have I got black on me?
You're in your eyeball.
What do you mean in my eyeball?
Like in this bit in here.
Oh, it's probably just mascara.
Not on your eye.
What
Like
do you
on the
mean?
white bit.
What do you mean?
As you can see, this is new footage from a different day. Yes, every time I move and shake the table, the camera moves because it's attached to the table. But anyway, this was another practice piece. I do this piece a number of different times. I believe this particular one was freehand because the stencil didn't work at all. I think it just gave me the outline, or maybe I traced around it. I didn't record context for myself to recall, but from memory it was pretty much all just freehand, so it was just more practice. Sometimes stencils don't always work, especially on synthetic skin. When it's on synthetic skin, I'm more than happy to just freehand it like I just said. If it doesn't work, if it was on a human, on real skin, I would redo that stencil until it is correct, because you don't want to chance, you know, having a wrong line on a human. So yeah, I will only ever freehand if it is on fake skin. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Again, this design is not mine. It is another one out of the course resources that I have. I think it's quite funny seeing the paper knife move around as I am tattooing because of the vibrations in the table. I think at this point I had done this particular one maybe 4 times, 3 times. I think this is the 3rd time. So yeah, I quite enjoy it, and I would probably do it again as well because I like it, or something similar. And then you'll see that we're going to apply some stencils. So these are more stencils from the course that I needed to apply, and I go through the process of how to do that. So I have a number of different skins. I can't remember where I got them all. Some were off Shein, some were off Amazon. I've actually started making my own, which I'm going to continue to do because I love it. But here you can see I'm showing you the thickness difference between the two. First thing we do when applying stencils is you need to wipe them all down with alcohol spray. If it is a skin that you've used before, then you can use like vegetable oil and warm soapy water to get the excess ink off from the last time. Once you have wiped everything down with alcohol, you need to use a little bit of baby powder to dry it out. You then put your sticky stencil stuff on, or whatever brand you are using, and then it is time to place your stencil. You do it very gently. Make sure that you don't have too much stencil stuff on the fake skin, because unlike real skin, the fake skin does not absorb that fluid, so it will just make everything go blurry if you have too much on there, and it'll transfer too much ink. So what I then do is make sure that it is underneath something heavy, and you leave it there for about 24 hours or however long you like.
Here's one I did ages ago that I haven't tattooed. So I've done this before. I've done it here. I have a stencil, so may as well. And then we'll just do some freehand script. So I'm currently sitting on 9 volts. This is a lot higher voltage than I would use on human skin because this is a lot tougher than human skin. So as much as practicing is good for stability and line work, it's not necessarily realistic, which kind of sucks, but it's still good practice.
Another stencil that I just like to keep practicing because it's simple, quick, lets me practice my hand motions, and I can see improvement every single time that I do it. Okay, so don't ask about the editing process. Clearly my footage is mixed up and this is the way that it's staying, but I was correct in what I was saying, that I simply outlined this one and just decided to go for it fully freehand. That was the only guidelines that I had. So I'll let you enjoy that footage because I'm pretty pleased with the fact that I was able to do majority of that from sight. And as you can see, I really didn't have that much of this one left to do, so here is me finishing that off so that I can call it complete. But I have really appreciated it if you have stuck around to this point in the video. I hope you've enjoyed practicing with me, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye!